Here's the estimate I got for my most recent annual inspection. Over $27,000 in estimated repairs. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what was on this report and show you how I got it done for a fraction of the cost. I'm also gonna walk you through how I cover most of these expenses, the tax advantages that come with owning an airplane. And by the end of this video, you'll know whether owning an airplane like this is really worth it and how to make it affordable without breaking the bank. This one's gonna be fun. Do you know that only a small percentage of people that watch my videos actually subscribe? People ask me how I get so many views, but my subscriber count is fairly low compared to the amount of views. And it's a valid question. I honestly have not been doing these videos very long, but you know what? The more subscribers I get, the more likely someone is to subscribe and to watch my videos. If you could just do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, it literally takes 2 seconds. All right, let's get into this. So I'm gonna walk you through this report. I'm gonna show you some pictures of some of the repairs and show you how to get the cost down. First of all, Coast Aviation in San Diego manages my airplane and they do a great job. So if you have an airplane and you don't have a good manager, you need to find one. They're gonna make sure all the records are up to date and they're gonna make sure your maintenance gets done on time and keep you and anybody who flies your airplane safe. First of all, my annual inspection is over $5,900 just for the inspection. So I'm in San Diego, it's really expensive, but honestly, I think a lot of places are getting really expensive with their annual inspections. When I first started, I think it was like $3,900. Now it's $5,900. It actually might've been closer to like $3,000. So first off, the oil change by itself is $215. Next, I was due to get my oxygen system inspected, and that by itself was $495. Next, I was due for a FIKI inspection. FIKI stands for Flying in Known Ice. So I actually have an anti-icing system on my Cirrus SR22 Turbo, and that was $396. My magnetos were a little bit off, so just adjusting the timing on the magnetos was $198. So here's where it gets really expensive. Alternator 1 was over $4,000 just to fix the alternator. So if you have a good company like Coast Aviation, you can see they send pictures. Honestly, half the time I don't know what I'm looking at, but at least I have pictures here and it keeps them honest. So if someone is managing your airplane and not showing you pictures, you need to ask them for pictures. And actually, now that I look at the report, it shows that it's worn seals on the alternator. Next is the baffle. As you can see, the baffle is cracked and needed to be replaced. So that's close to another $2,000. It just blows my mind. All these little things happen to an airplane. And of course, for safety, you almost have to get them replaced. Next is the reference hose. As you can see, it's worn and they recommended replacing. Now, when you're looking at those reports, you have to look at, is it airworthy, which means you have to do it, or is it recommended, which means you have to decide whether you want to do it or not. Usually if it's a few $100s or less, I just go ahead and do it. If it's something that's thousands of dollars, that's where I question it. Unless it's required to be airworthy, then it doesn't matter. I have to do it anyway. And if you remember, my Cirrus actually went out of warranty 2 years ago. So a lot of these things actually would have been covered by warranty. Alternator 2 belt, that's easy. 99 bucks, went ahead and replaced that. The left magneto was due for an inspection and overhaul, which is every 500 hours, and it's only 3.9 hours away. So rather than trying to negotiate this one or try and put it off till later, yes, I could get it done 3 hours later, but then I'd have to take the airplane down, bring it back in again. So this one, I just went ahead and did. $2,800, $2,874.13 to be exact. Here's another airworthy charge, $396. Caps line cutters. So caps, remember, is the parachute system. This is a huge safety item. It says recommended. It's due every 6 years and expires here in a couple months. $1,798.90. Battery 1, which I thought I had done recently, but it actually might have been battery 2, $1,544.40. Looks like here the fairing grommets are detached. So to not cause further damage, they recommend repairing that. $222.51. Got a couple small ones here I'll just kind of skip over. We got some root fairing chafing, $396. Highly recommended. So that's to not cause any further damage. So I rent my airplane, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. They wanted to replace the cup holder, $173. So this is something that has been an ongoing issue. And I think I may have replaced this once. So I told them, you know what? Don't replace it. Just repair it the best you can and let people know if it's not working, it's because they're not taking care of the plane. And honestly, they're just cheap cup holders. So really, it's maybe not their fault. Looks like there's something going on with the wheel pants. $1,694. I don't have notes on exactly what this is, but looks like it needs to be done. Highly recommended. If they say highly recommended, chances are you probably need to do it. Fire extinguisher, that's a big safety issue, $496.51. Looks like that has to be replaced every 6 years, and I've never done that before. Pay for something to happen and them not have a fire extinguisher and not be able to put out a fire. TKS fluid, $75, not a big deal. Filling the oxygen, $160. TKS filter, it needs to be replaced every so often. Actually expires here in a few months, $1,612. Here's something to do with the airframe, $636.98. Propeller overhaul, due later this year. Not fun. I don't want to know what that's going to cost. Looks like they gave me a free wash, which was nice of them. So again, the total came out to $27,491.32. So I was actually able to cut a lot out of this inspection with the repairs that needed to be done. So first of all, the alternator one, if you remember, that was over $4,000. And what I do is when I see these big items, I'll jump on the phone with a mechanic and say, hey, can you walk me through this? It takes me like 15 minutes and usually it saves me a lot of money. So I asked if there's any alternative to the alternator. They said they could clean it up and keep an eye on it during the test flight and see if it truly needs replacing. So after they cleaned it up and did a test flight, they never got back to me. So I'm assuming that it was good for now. That's not saying I'm never going to have to do it. I just don't have to do it yet. The caps line cutters, this is a safety item, but there's nothing wrong with them. It's just time for them to be replaced. They said they had some time on them, so that saved me $1,800 for now. I'll have to do that probably 6 to 12 months from now. Cup holder, as I mentioned, $173, save some money there. And there were a few other things I was able to take off the list for now. So the new total here came out to $18,993.82. So I was able to get this bill down quite a bit by just making a phone call to the mechanic. So as you can see, owning an airplane isn't cheap, but it also doesn't have to drain your wallet. Between the rental income and the tax advantages, I'm actually well ahead on this airplane. If you haven't seen that video where I break down my profit and loss from the previous year's taxes, go check that video out. So I knew when I bought this airplane, I could get accelerated depreciation. This was back in 2022. So spending $1 million on this airplane, I was able to save close to $500,000 in taxes. And since I only had to put $150,000 down, that's $350,000 basically in my pocket. So even if I didn't rent the airplane, it would take me many years of payments and expenses to eat up that $350,000. I also did a really good video on that and breakdown of that, so go check that video out as well. So when I'm not flying the airplane, I get to rent this out for $675 an hour. So some of you wonder how I can afford to buy airplanes. I've been investing in real estate for over 24 years now and done over $100 million worth of deals. And I love helping other real estate investors get into real estate. So if you have over $50,000 to put into real estate and you want a little advice, go to tonyjavier.com/REI and we'll let you know what kind of opportunities are out there. Some people ask, who can afford $675 an hour? Usually it's business owners that want to get somewhere and get back in the same day, and they know time is money. And that's one of the reasons I bought this airplane, is because I knew when I flew it, it would save me a lot of time, which would save me a lot of money. And that's on top of all the tax advantages and the things that I've talked about so far that help me pay for this airplane. If you want to know more about accelerated depreciation, I'll do another video on that. But basically the tax code said up to 2022, 100% of some items could be depreciated in the first year as opposed to depreciated typically over 5+ years. And luckily, Trump, who just got elected into office not too long ago, brought that tax bill back. So as of January 15, 2025, anything put in service after that that qualifies for the bonus depreciation can be written off in the first year. I've done this with airplanes, I've done this with computers, I've done this with equipment, and I do it all the time in real estate. So if you click on this next video, I'm going to show you the full profit and loss on this plane, all the income, all the expenses, and what I actually made at the end of the year. Or lost, you'll have to watch to find out. So again, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.